P-63, which they helped the United States design. They found out that 39 had some inadequacies in it, and so they made it better. This is the factory, the very first plane on the line there. That was the last P-39 built. Everything else beyond that are the brand new P-63s. You'll notice the three-bladed prop versus the four-bladed props on the rest of them. The Women Air Force Service pilots. These ladies set the stage for all women to fly. We have a woman that flew the route with us 2 years ago, Elizabeth Ackerley. She's a first officer for American Airlines and flies 767s from Florida to London. And she talks about the WASP and how that was a major influence on her. The women received the same type of training as the men, put through all the paces, except they were not taught combat. They were not allowed to leave the United States, not to travel through Canada, to travel up to Alaska. They kept them in the lower 48 states. Ferry Command, the transport of the planes. And have any of you been over to Fairbanks to see the Alcid Memorial? It's a wonderful memorial. It has a U.S. pilot pointing to the sky and a Russian standing right next to him, and the big four-bladed prop of the P-63. You'll notice the patch of the ferry squadron has the Big Dipper on there, the 7 stars of the Big Dipper pointing to the north. Pretty basic operations. Just run through these real quick. Watson Lake, I'll step down so you can see over me. That looks like where we landed right a couple hours ago, doesn't it?
I think it was. Except we almost don't like the snow.
And it's pretty desolate. Ladd Field at Fairbanks is where the transfer of the planes took place. And the painting of the Red Star. This was one of the big challenges. I have great respect for the Russians that we're working with. They speak English. I don't speak Russian. And it was the same challenge for the Russians during the transfer of these airplanes. They were getting into brand new airplanes they'd never flown before, that had probably 2 to 3 times the performance of their own at the time. And they'd get in these things, and most of the casualties for the Russian pilots took place between Fairbanks and Nome. The Russians were always on the front, so if instead of going on, a holiday, they went over and they started transferring planes across Siberia. Yakutsk. And very, very basic airfields. You'll notice on the, those are P-39s, the Texaco Red Star. The majority of the planes were painted that way when they came up the route, and then the official Red Star was put on them later. And the Soviets loved the American airplanes. The P-39 had this great big 37mm cannon right in the nose, and they scored tons of kills against the Nazis. And at the end of the day, we flew the same sky. So this is an amazing quote from FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It says, "The structure of world peace cannot be the work of one man or one party or one nation. It must be a peace which rests on the cooperative effort of the whole world." And that's one of the amazing things that we've found with this project, is we're finding that the Russians are reaching out to us, we're working with the Canadians, we are one cohesive team. And at the end of the day, there is hope. We had the Russian ambassador from Washington, D.C. speaking at our presentation in Great Falls last weekend. 2 weeks prior, the United States ambassador in Moscow gave a presentation to something like 90 international press representatives talking about the importance of the Warplanes in Siberia project. Our State Department talks about it, Canadians talk about it. We're very, very fortunate, and it started with a simple idea. And based on that idea, from my great friend, Mr. Deere, that's what we're trying to pass along to young people. If you have a dream, go after it, chase it, dream big, aim high, and don't let anybody say you can't do it. The first thing I said to Jeff when he says, I'm going to fly a biplane to Providine to Russia, I looked him right in the eye and I said, you're out of your mind. And then I asked him, you know, when he found the route in Great Falls, he says, I found the Lend-Lease route. And I went, what in the world is a Lend-Lease route? He says, well, stick around, I'll tell you. And I'm here with you today because of this man's vision and belief in this project. And thank you very much for sticking around for us today.